to assist the Killeavy seconds in the second half. But you would hope really that you would hope that Killeavy can perhaps get into the game, perhaps get a goal in the early stages to make a game of this at this early stage, because it's looking quite predictable at this point, as the ball's hacked up by the Killeavy player there, and it's Clonmore attack, and that's out to. Because Kieran Cunningham was played it back to Cormac Carmichael. Cormac Carmichael had a great game in the first half, and Clonmore patient here, James Fox, and that's out to the overrushing Brennan Donaghy, the former Armagh, the Ireland star. He's played it out, and that's an effort over on the far side of the goal, and Blaine Crummey's done exceptionally well there. He's knocked it out, but only as far as Cormac Carmichael. And that's recycled out again, and the ball's gone wide. No, in fact, it hasn't gone wide, it hasn't dropped wide, and Killeavy look to try and get themselves out of trouble here, and they emerge down the stand side of the pitch. And Killeavy come forward, so Patrick Falloon came there solo, and Patrick Falloon seemed to be tackled after he released the pass, but the pass didn't go to hand, and that'll be Kieran Cunningham who attacks, and it's now with Ryan Donnelly. Poor ball, and Paul Waters has cut that out, and he's played it up to the centre half forward, Cathal O'Hara. Plays a ball across the pitch, but it hasn't really gone where he intended to, but it might still be picked up by Crummey. Yes, Jason Crummey's got a hold of it, and Jason Crummey himself, he's delivered a very, very poor pass there, right under the waiting and grateful arms of James Fox, as Clonmore are out near the sideline here in the persona of Cormac Carmichael, and that ball's out to James Grimley. And Clonmore look to fashion a shooting opportunity here in the early stages of the second half of the athletic grounds. And James Fox on the ball, he's passed it out to his midfield partner Convey. Convey's had a go, but that'll drop harmlessly wide. So 2 minutes played just here in the second half of the Tmet Armagh Junior Championship match between Killeavy seconds and Clonmore. And Paddy, I suppose Killeavy really need a few scores early on here.
They do. They'd want to be chipping in with a few points. I think if Clonmore got any more scores here, the game would probably be out of their hands at this stage. So they'd want to be chipping in with 2 or 3 points here, and hopefully stay in the game for as long as they can, and maybe try and get that wee goal or 2 goals and get them right back in it.
And don't forget, folks, to get your comments in on Twitter at Armagh_GAA, www.armagh-gaa.net/ArmaghTV. Get the comments also in on Facebook. Let us know where you're watching the match from, and we'll hope that you're enjoying this Tmet Armagh Junior Championship semi-final, and another, of course, more football to come. This isn't the only game this weekend on Armagh TV. As a referee, I think he's handed a yellow card out there, Paddy. I think that was to. It was either the number 8 at Clonmore or the number 6 from Killeavy, so it was either Martin Convey or Stephen McVeigh. I'm not quite sure. He flashed the card in the direction of the pair, not entirely clear as to who exactly received his admonishment. But Blaine Crummey from Killeavy looks like he's going to kick the ball out here. And Paul O'Hanlon wants to know who's in nets for Killeavy, and that's Blaine Crummey. We've mentioned Blaine a few times. I wonder, is there a hint of sarcasm in that request from Mr. O'Hanlon? I hope not. I'll take it at face value and inform that it's Blaine Crummey in nets. But certainly, we as commentators, Paddy, we can do nothing about who the ball goes towards. And it's gone in. I suppose, unfortunately, from a Killeavy point of view, it's gone in Blaine's direction a lot, and that's. But it's right at the opposite end of the pitch now, because Keelan O'Hare, the man who started off at wing half back, he's moved up into the forward line during the first half, and he kicked an exceptional point there, Paddy.
He did. It was a very good score. He was kicking the ball against his foot, and he must have sailed that ball over the bar there from maybe 30-35 yards. So excellent score.
And Killeavy need plenty more where that came from.
Yeah, they could be doing with just chipping away at the points here, try and keep this ball in the Clonmore half for as long as they can.
And as Clonmore have picked that ball up, and they've been very good at midfield, Clonmore, and that's a ball kicked down towards number 5, Rory Cunningham. Rory Cunningham with number 5, marking the number 2 there. That's not the way they lined out, but it doesn't really matter at this stage as Clonmore continue to attack, and that's a fine point. That's a fine point from Clonmore. Excellent move.
Yeah, it was Daniel Mullen scored that point there. That's actually a second point from play. So from a half back, that's you can't expect much more of him.
No, I think he's playing in the forward line. It was Daniel Mullen who was getting tackled. He was getting tackled by Patrick Falloon, and he still seems to be staying in and around the forward line there, the number 5 from Clonmore. So I suppose as we'd perhaps expect, there's plenty of positional switches throughout the course of the game. We'll try to keep you as up to date as we can with those folks. Great to hear from Stevie McDonald at half time, Paddy, and you can tell that he's looking forward to the task of Armagh under 21 management next term.
Yeah, well, I suppose if you're not playing, you want to be involved in some way, and what better way is there to be involved as being a manager of the team? And I suppose when you look at it, the next step up is just the senior team, so he's going the right direction about it anyway.
Absolutely, and certainly an absolute Rolls Royce of footballer for Armagh over the years. I'm sure you'd agree, Paddy.
Yeah, I'd have to say now he's up in the top 4 or 5 maybe footballers, if not in the top 3 footballers, the best footballers that Ireland have ever seen, you know. So
yeah, well, certainly there was a period. It was actually probably after Armagh won the All-Ireland 2002. He was excellent that day. Of course, he scored the winning point. But really, there was a 3 or 4 year period there from 2003 to 2005 when he was certainly the best player in Ireland for those 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, I think you're right.
And of course, he actually an accolade that he received, and very, very unusual to get it, was 2003. He was named Player of the Year without having won the All-Ireland. And if you go and look through the annals of the GAA, very seldom that has ever happened. But perhaps a more immediate focus is the fact that number 14 Cormac Carmichael for Clonmore has had an attempt at the post there from a free kick, but it's trailed wide, and Clonmore retained the 8-point lead, 11 points to Clonmore here in the athletic grounds in the Tmet Junior Championship, 3 to the Killeavy men, and we've played 7 minutes in the second half. Ball kicked out. Patrick Falloon goes for that. Patrick Falloon must be one of the smallest men on the pitch. He did his best to try and get that, couldn't quite manage it. And with the Cunningham attacks now for Clonmore, he's laid it out to James Grimley. James Grimley will have a go at the posts, and that looks like it's good. And the umpires are dressed in the unusual. They're usually in white. They're now in the fluorescent yellow. But no matter what the colour of the coats, the outcome's still the same when the ball goes sails as truly between the posts as it did just there, Paddy.
Yeah, I think the umpires are just trying to keep the cold off them more so than anything. They've got the luminous builders jackets on them tonight. You know, it's a lovely night in the athletic grounds, but it's definitely cold outside. Yeah,
well, I suppose we always, as the autumn evenings draw in, it's always club championship time up and down the country. And in Armagh, we're delighted to be bringing you this coverage from Armagh TV. Well, thank you very much for your donation, and we hope that you're enjoying the match. Niall Crummy, number 17, there is the third Crummy to enter the pitch, Paddy, and he's on for Killeavy. I suppose the Killeavy need to make changes at this stage. Paul O'Donnell now forward for Clonmore as they look to try and put this game to bed, and that is it looked like it was going over the point, but no. Well, it might have trailed up, and the umpire's happy enough, and I think that was Martin Convey there. Not entirely sure, but I think that was Convey with the points, and 10 points in it now, Paddy, and it really is ominous.
It is. It's looking bleak for Killeavy at this stage, and in fairness to them, they've started attacking more. They've a whole lot more men. As we're looking at it here, the 5 men in their own half now at this stage. So in the first half, a few times there were only 2 and 3 players to look for. So they are trying to attack Clonmore a bit more.
I suppose it's difficult. It's difficult for a seconds team to compete at this level. Very much. I know the seconds team have become something that it started off actually with Crossmaglen and Killeavy. Then for a while, the Crossmaglen seconds were ploughing a lone furrow in the Armagh All County leagues. They were the only seconds team. Killeavy and Cullyhanna re-established in around 2010, established seconds teams. We now have Pearse Oaks, Drummond T, and it's given quite a lot of football, Paddy, that mightn't necessarily be getting it, in the B leagues.
It is, it leaves boys there that weren't in contention maybe in the say maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 down the list in the subs. It leaves them that they're getting games every week, week in, week out, and they're playing football the whole time.
Yeah, I suppose that's what that's all about the ethos of the GAA is participation. Paul Hamill's played that ball in there, and Paul Hamill, it was fisted on, and now it's going to be Killeavy, I think, emerging, and yes, number 15 Finbar Mallon had the ball there, and he's played it over towards Keelan O'Hare. Keelan O'Hare dropping back again, closer to the position where he was originally named. Keelan O'Hare, that's an excellent run there, Paddy, isn't it? He's evading the challenges with some distinction, but the final ball didn't. he undid all his good work there.
He did, but he got crowded out there. He had absolutely no support from his teammates. There was 4 and 5 Clonmore men around there and around him and dispossessed him. He kind of done as well as he could, I thought, with that ball.
Wonder is fitness going to play an issue or play a part here in the final 20 minutes in the athletic grounds, Paddy?
Well, as it looks, the boys are moving well. They're making the runs. They're still, in fairness to Killeavy now, they maybe look a wee bit more sluggish. You can see that ball coming into their full forward line now, and there's 3 Clonmore men closer to the ball than what there is a Killeavy man. So maybe that's the fitness level starting to drop a wee bit now.
Dominic McGeown, he's calling for the ball and he's now received it. Dominic McGeown hasn't been particularly involved tonight, but he's rushing forward now, the corner back, perhaps looking at the ball to return. Clonmore looked fairly dangerous now. Dominic McGeown has continued that run. He was actually blocked up by a Killeavy player, but the number 12 there, Cal Cunningham, he decided to take on the shot himself, but he fired it wide.
Yeah, well, I suppose Cal Cunningham's probably full of confidence there from the first half. He sailed over 3 lovely points, so he's probably well entitled to take a stab at that.
Very much so, and looks like number 24 for Killeavy's going to be entering the fray, and that's Kieran McGuinness. And we're just trying to work out who's going to be withdrawn. Understandable, Paddy, I suppose, that Killeavy will be making a few changes in the second half.
Yeah, see, they're taking their corner forward off. And probably it happens in every team all throughout Ireland that if the team's not playing well, it's either the corner back or the corner forward comes off first.
Yeah, they're the poison chalices when it comes to GAA positions, but that's a better kick out there, and that's it. It's Convey on the ball. Convey's running through here, and that's gone to number 5, and that is an excellent point from Rory Cunningham. And I think it's very much from the wing half backs for Clonmore. Anything you can do, I can do better. We've seen Daniel Mullen attacking with pace and getting a couple of scores on the board, and that was another good point from Rory Cunningham.
Surprisingly, the only man in the Clonmore half back line that hasn't scored yet is Brandy Donaghy. And you'd imagine if there was any man that was going to be scoring on that line, it'd be him. Yeah, well, perhaps Brandy's taken the view that his that his colleagues are doing so well, bursting forward, that they have the luxury, Clonmore the luxury of perhaps retaining him in and about the defensive line to make sure that nothing goes awry here in the latter stages. And that's a nice bit of soccer skill actually there from the Killeavy man, and the ball's hit the post, and it's going to be a Clonmore ball. Little bit of argy-bargy here between James Mullen and the substitute for Killeavy, who is Niall Hollywood. Yeah, I think Niall Hollywood was a wee bit hard done by there. He could have got a free there, because the Clonmore man seemed to kick the ball on the ground as he was putting his hands on it. He might have got a free in for that.
And really, Paddy, at this stage, with perhaps about 15 minutes to go, 11 points between the teams, the leagues are telling their own tale at this stage. The game's really going as I suppose a lot of us really expected.
Yeah, you can see the bit of a gulf in class. You can see that the team that's playing at the higher level, and tonight Clonmore's they're far too comfortable on the ball, and to me they don't even seem to be going at full pace tonight. They're kind of just taking it easy through the game and doing what they have to do to get through it.
Yeah, I mean the Junior B League, there's probably even a fair gap in quality between the Junior A and Junior B. I know certainly I was at a fair few Junior A matches over the course of the season. That was a very, very competitive league, and that was topped in the end by Forkhill, who play armagh-gaa tomorrow night. And of course Clonmore, they haven't they won't have taken this game for granted just yet, as number 19 Kevin McCardle enters the fray for Killeavy. Clonmore won't, they haven't put Killeavy to bed quite yet, but I'm sure that the thoughts will be turning to what might be a tantalising Tmet Armagh Junior Championship final between themselves and their good neighbours armagh-gaa.
Yeah, that'll be a keenly fought one now. I think by the looks of it here, what is there, 11 points in it? I think Clonmore probably have this game closed out at this stage, unless something drastic changes in the next 10-15 minutes with 15 minutes left. I think that's who it's going to be in the final, so it'll be a nice kind of such a local derby there. Yeah,
well, I mean Clonmore certainly, it looks like they'll certainly be there, but Forkhill have a thing or two to say about that. They have top Division 3. armagh-gaa, of course, have been looking forward to that game, which will be, of course, live on Armagh TV at 5 p.m. on Sunday. That'll be preceded by I think it's 3 p.m. Sheernlogue will play St Paul's in the eagerly anticipated replay of the Intermediate Championship semi-final. But So certainly Kill have had a good season too, and they'll hope to put it up to the senior championship bound Armagh-gaa team. They're actually going, well, win, lose or draw in the junior championship. Armagh-gaa will be a senior team next year by virtue of their excellent performance to finish second in the intermediate league.
Yeah, Armagh-gaa, they're a good team now. I have to say, I've played against them over the years myself, this last couple of years, and they're definitely an excellent side now. And I've played against a lot of these Armagh-gaa men as well, who are equally good footballers.
It's something of a changing of the guard in the northern part of the county, Paddy, isn't it? You know, when you see a club like Armagh-gaa, who'd always been associated with being a very small rural club, and they're managing to get promotion ahead of the mighty Clonmore.
Yeah, it's a bit of a turnaround, all right. You know, 5, 6, maybe 10 years ago, you wouldn't have been saying that. You wouldn't have took that into consideration at all. But credit to the lads, and probably the way the thing is at the minute with work and jobs and that, and men leaving the country, and you know, you'd imagine that wee towns or wee places like Clonmore, they'd probably struggle to get players, but they seem to be doing well for themselves.
Yeah, very much so. We can see that there tonight. Game's got a little scrappy here. Some of the Killeavy players remonstrating with the referee, but I think Killeavy seconds have been awarded a free kick. Tetchy scenes out in front of us, Paddy. So those frustrations are maybe reaching boiling point at this stage.
Yeah, the Killeavy boys are probably a wee bit frustrated now. I know I was talking to Stevie at half time there, and he reckoned maybe that they haven't got into the game right yet, and they've played a whole lot better all over the years. Like I said at the start, it could come down to nerves just on the night, and maybe expecting a lot off themselves, and I suppose that wee gulf in class hasn't helped either tonight. Yeah,
well, Keelan O'Hare's over there for Killeavy, but the ball's gone out and that'll get Clonmore sideline in their defensive third of the pitch. Over on the terrace side of the goals here in the athletic grounds. Don't forget to get your comments in on Twitter, folks, at armagh_gaa, www.armagh-gaa.net/armagh-TV, with Facebook page too, as Clonmore attack here in the athletic grounds. And Clonmore getting a little bit of space. Here's Brendan Donaghy. Brendan hasn't got his name on the score sheet yet. He might be able to change that, but it's a dangerous ball played forward there, and Killeavy have managed to cope with it, and that'll be Patrick Falloon picked it up, and he attacks down the far side. 12 minutes, just over 12 minutes to go here in the athletic grounds. Clonmore 14 points, Killeavy second 3 points. And Paddy, have you any thoughts on the intermediate championship? I know you've been involved with Middletown. You would know quite a bit about those intermediate teams, and not sure if you managed to catch the game on Armagh TV between Tiernan and St Paul's. That was a very hotly contested draw. Would you have a tip for the replay?
Well, I know from during the year there, Tiernan was probably the outstanding team in our division, you know, and by far they're the best team we played, I thought, all year. So, you know, class comes through in the end, and I think just Tiernan might have a wee bit too much for them. You know, a couple of points. I think they were caught cold the first day, and I think a couple of points maybe win, and the next day it'll be near enough on the result.
And of course, Madden await the winners in the final, and that is absolutely magnificent point. Cormac Carmichael, and Cormac Carmichael's had an excellent game here, Paddy. That's not sure exactly how many he's got. I think it's 4 points in all, possibly I think all from Clay. That was they've all been very good scores, and the quality of the score taken from Clonmore, it really would grace a game at senior championship level, Paddy.
It has. It's been very good, and as I said in the first half, all of their scores have come in from awkward angles and from distance. You know, they've hit points there from 35, 40 yards against their foot. So the quality of the scoring is very, very good tonight from the Clonmore perspective.
Of course, I suspect, Paddy, that I wouldn't say that that any administrators would be glad to see Killeavy put out, but there perhaps might be an element of relief, because as I was discussing with Steve McDonnell over half time, there's still the possibility that Killeavy, the first team, could be relegated where St Paul's to win as Killeavy second. That was an excellent score from out the field there. And perhaps they haven't given up hope just yet, and that's the 4th point of the game for the Killeavy men. But it is possible that, of course, the Killeavy first team could be relegated to the Intermediate League by virtue of the fact that St Paul's could retain their senior championship status by winning the Intermediate Championship. That could relegate Killeavy firsts, And then, of course, had Clevie seconds gone on and pulled off one of the shocks of the century in Armagh football, they would have been then entitled to a place in the intermediate league. But wouldn't have been able to take that up because they can still follow me. And I hope I haven't lost the viewers. But because you can't have two teams from one club in the same league, there could have been all sorts of political scenarios and shenanigans going on within the Clevie club.
Well, I think, and I know what the Killeavy board would have been, the ruling would have been on that, but I'd say there would have been a whole lot of crack and a whole lot of banter between the players as to who deserves to be in the division next year and who doesn't.
It doesn't look like that's going to. Of course, Clevie first is still very hopeful of retaining a place in the senior in the senior league. They finished fourth from bottom, and only a championship victory for St Paul's can rob them of their senior status for next season. As the number 29 Niall King, he got the goal against Dorsey in the. He's entered the fray now for Clevie seconds. He was the man who got the goal against Dorsey. That was a great night for Clevie seconds. Very unexpected, but they triumphed over Dorsey Emmets 112 to 6 points. Niall King with the goal, but Niall's maybe going to have to get more than one goal to try and pull this particular scenario around. As Clonmore again on the attack, and that'll be a free. Referee Alan Taylor. He's had a good game, the referee, but I suppose it was maybe not the most difficult game to take charge of, Paddy.
No, it's been fairly straightforward so far. There's been no real cynical play or anything else, so it's been a good, in fairness to the two teams, it's been a good attacking, free flowing game of football, but it's just probably the scoreline at the minute that's not reflecting the game.
Yeah, not a yellow card there, brandished by the referee. I think that was in the direction of Barry O'Hara from the Killeavy club, and it'll be Cormac Carmichael again. He's about 40 metres from goal, and the form he's in, Paddy, you'd probably expect him to kick this one over the bar.
Yeah, well, it seems relatively straightforward from here. He actually seems to have dropped that short. He has, and the keeper comes out with it. Or sorry, it's actually the half back.
Yeah, and that'll be a free kick now, and that's a free kick now to Killeavy, and they've taken it too quickly for the referee's liking. I think he's going to allow them a reprieve and give them a second chance to kick it, or is he going to throw it up? It seems that the referee wants to take consultation from his umpire in the fluorescent yellow jackets, and he's happy enough to allow play to continue now in the form of Finn Barmallen, who's passed it out, and Clevie seconds look to build here. On that side, as far as Patrick Fulwood, he hasn't quite been under severe pressure. He's dropped. Luckily, he might touch the ball on the ground, and that'll be a Clonmore sideline ball.
I think tonight, sorry, Patrick Falloon's probably, is it Patrick? Yeah, Patrick Falloon's probably, he's probably one of the most outstanding players for Killeavy tonight. He's been very, very good. He's been on the ball a lot, and he doesn't seem to waste possession when he gets it. And looking around the field here, I think he's the smallest player in the field by a long way. Yeah,
but you're right. I agree. He's played very, very well as James Fox goes forward for Clonmore here, and it's Brennan Donny. Brennan Donny, I think, has been pushing the back there. Yeah, the referee's given a free. There's a bit of a late challenge there, probably a little unnecessary. And I think the referee's taken cognizance of that and is going to put a name into the notebook.
Yeah, I think it's Bob Downey. He went in a wee bit late there, just he went in with the knee when the free had already been given, so the referee just caught him.
Get the comments in, folks, on Twitter at armagh_gaa, www.armagh-gaa.net/armagh-tv. Get the comments in on Facebook also, and we're delighted to have you along here with us on Armagh TV. Don't forget that this is only the start of the festivities for the weekend. 3 o'clock on Sunday, as Carmichael takes this free and looks at his own personal tally, and he does so very effectively. And it's 16 points to Clonmore, 4 points to Clevie seconds. 3 p.m. on Sunday we have the replay between Tiernanog and St Paul's, and at 5 p.m. we'll have that all-important junior championship semi-final between Armagh-gaa and Fork Hill, and that's the battle of the Division 3 champions against the Division 2 runners-up. So something to look forward to. Two teams have been flying high, full of confidence, and that could be a real classic in this junior championship, Paddy.
Yeah, it definitely has all the potential to be a very good game, I imagine.
Certainly, I know that hopes were high amongst the Cullyhanna seconds team that after a great win over Crossmaglen that they'd managed that they could make the semi-final themselves, but they were certainly beaten by a better team on the day in the form of the Fork Hill lads. So I would expect them to give Armagh-gaa very much their fill of it, despite the gap division between the two teams. As Clonmore looked to attack here, that was a wonderful ball, really expansive play there. Found the man in space over on the wing. And the game's peteling out a wee bit at this stage, Paddy, I suppose we'll have to admit.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think Killeavy have lost all heart. They've realised maybe at this stage now that the game's out of their grasp, and they're sort of just kind of playing out the last 5 minutes we have left here. So kind of the fizzes went out of it a bit, Paddy.
It has, but I think Killeavy deserve huge credit for all their efforts. As that looked like it was Keelan Cunningham down there trying to force the ball past the net, but Blaine Crumy's goal remains intact. 16 points to Clonmore, 4 points to Killeavy. I think it's worth pointing out, Paddy, that as you remarked at the start of the game, it's an achievement in itself for a seconds team to get to this stage of the junior championship.
Yeah, it is very much so, especially in a team that's finished mid-table in the second division. So it's always going to be a big ask for them on the night, and unfortunately it has turned out there's 12 points in it now at this stage. But in fairness to the Killeavy lads, they've fought hard with the whole game, and they've tried their best, but it just hasn't worked for them on the evening.
Yes, so they'll hope to attack here, and that is an effort from the substitute number 8. And that is an absolutely fantastic score from Niall Hollywood. He's been introduced there. That was a superb score, right out close to the sideline. He was about maybe 25 to 30 metres out. He looked at the post. He didn't have much else on. He looked at the post. He had an effort, and that was a superb score. And I think it's probably worth noting, Paddy, the achievement that it is for Killeavy Seconds have got here. They beat in the first round. They beat Derry Noose, who've been promoted from Division 3A, and then the second round they beat a Division 2 team in Dorsey. So they've been punching above their weight all season here in the Tmet Armagh Junior Championship, but I think they've finally met their match tonight.
Yeah, they have, but in fairness too, it's a big thing for Killeavy Club as well that they have two teams competing at a competitive level. It can only be good for the club that they've lads out here tonight, and then they've lads on the senior team as well, so it can only bode well for their senior team, to take lads up from the likes of this team.
Very much so. Very much so, and that's number 21, Brian Donaghy. He's been introduced for the Clonmore men. And we're waiting. It's another Donaghy. Stephen Donaghy will take this kick out. And Clonmore attack here through Dominic McGill. And that's to Martin Convey. And caught well by Ryan Donnelly. And Ryan will have an effort here. And that's just tailed wide. Have a text in here from Sean O'Malishta, and he's saying good luck to the Derry McCash Camogues against Lochgiel in the Ulster Championship on Sunday the 6th of October, and very much everybody at Armagh TV would add our support to that, and also to the Cullyhanna Camogues, who won the Intermediate Championship, and they head up to Derry to take on the best that Ulster can offer, as Clonmore has another fine score from Clonmore, and very much they've been very much a superior team over the course of the hour, and that was Keelan Cunningham with the point there, I believe.
It was actually, I think it was James Grimley kicked that one. That was the second score of the night there.
James Grimley, I do apologise.
At the end of normal time in this half, there will be at least 3 minutes of added time.
3 minutes of added time we played here in the athletic grounds, above and beyond the 30 minutes. We played almost 29 minutes rather of normal time, so 4 minutes to go, and really at this stage there's absolutely no doubt about who'll be taking that first place in the Tmet Armagh Junior Championship final. As Keelan Cunningham, I'd awarded him a point earlier, erroneously so. He's played up. He's not interested in adding his name to the score sheet. The ball's been pumped in there by number 10, Ryan Donnelly, and it's drifted out for a wide ball, and that'll be kicked out by the Killeavy goalkeeper, Blaine Crummy. And don't forget, folks, Sunday is Super Sunday at Armagh TV. We have at 3 p.m. we have a Chernonog versus St Paul's, that intermediate semi-final replay, and at 5 p.m. we have the junior championship match between Armagh-gaa and Forkhill Pather O'Dorning. So a great afternoon of football on live on Armagh TV, and we'll be delighted to have you along with us, and we thank you of course for watching the game tonight. Perhaps not the exhilarating encounter that we were hoping for, but certainly Clonmore have deserved what will surely be their victory, as Killeavy looked to put a little gloss on the scoreline, but it prevented from doing so by sturdy Clonmore defence. And the ball's gone astray there, but and regained by the Killeavy men. And here comes Barry O'Hara. Yeah, Barry O'Hara with the effort, and I think that's drifted to the right as we look at it and gone wide as the crowds start to leave the athletic grounds here. And really, the job's been done for Clonmore, and I suppose they're in the comfortable position that I'm sure all the lads will be at the game on Sunday. They'll be watching Armagh-gaa and Forkhill and trying to pick out a thing or two for the final. Paddy?
Yeah, you would imagine they'll all be there, and they'll be watching who's in what position and who's playing where, and possibly who they're going to be marking. You know, at least they have that luxury now that they're already there, and they get a chance to see what they're up against.
And of course, we've only 2 weeks to the junior finals, so perhaps there's a little advantage. Certainly, if the game on Sunday was to work out a draw, you know, Clonmore will be sitting very pretty already in the final. And that ball's blocked down there, but it's still regained by Cormac Carmichael, who's been outstanding for Clonmore tonight. And the Clonmore forward, Cathal Cunningham's had a great game as well, Paddy.
He has. Cathal Cunningham's been very good, and Rory Cunningham and Daniel Mullen as well. They've all been very, very good tonight. And probably, as I keep mentioning it, one of the quietest men on the Clonmore team's been Brandy Donaghy tonight, but he has seemed to just took up that role, as you mentioned earlier. He has just sat in front of the back three there, in the front of the full back line, and he's just swept up ball and done probably his job and kept the Killeavy men at bay for big parts or long spells of this game.
Perhaps Brandon's holding a swashbuckling offensive performance for the final as Keelan O'Hare won that free there for Killeavy seconds. He took it himself, and it's drifted harmlessly wide. As the game peters out here, really, I suppose we really never really got going here tonight on Armagh TV. But we're glad to have had you along with us. Hopefully, I'm sure we'll have 2 tighter games. We had a very, very exciting game last Friday night between Tiernan and St Paul's. Certainly looking forward to the replay. Looking forward to the game at 5 o'clock between Forkhill and Armagh-gaa as Clonmore. That's an excellent pass spread out towards Cathal Cunningham. Caelan Cunningham goes towards goal. Is he going to get the goal? No, he's chipped it over the bar. Sensible option at this stage. So Caelan's added another point to the Clonmore tally, and that brings it to Clonmore 18 points, Killeavy 5 points, and that's the final kick of the game. And congratulations to Clonmore. They have triumphed here in the athletic grounds in the Tmet Armagh Junior Championship semi-final by 18 points to 5. And Paddy, I suppose the reality is not an awful lot to say about that game. It was fairly one-sided.
It was, Paddy. It was one-sided from the ball was through in at the start. Clonmore were well on top, probably in every position for the first 15-20 minutes, and they never really let Killeavy get into the game. And when Killeavy did have a short spell of play, probably for 5 or 10 minutes in the first half, Clonmore went up the field again, got 2 or 3 scores, and just cancelled it out straight away. And that was it. Probably game wrapped up at half time.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't disagree with that analysis, Paddy. And just like to thank Paddy McCardle here from the Middletown Club alongside. To thank all the background staff, Paul Heaney who flew in from Florida to help us here tonight, and Gary and Sean and all the team here on Armagh TV, and of course special thank you to you the viewers and the donors. We'll hope to see you all back for the double header on Sunday, the first game between Tiernan and St Paul's, the second match between Forkhill and Armagh-gaa, and hopefully 2 rip-roaring affairs on Armagh TV on Sunday. And we'll sign out. Thanks very much for watching, and congratulations to Clonmore. And on a final word, thanks of course to Stevie McDonald, who graced us with his presence at half time. We wish Stevie all the best of luck as Armagh under-21 manager next year. Stan Liva Harja.